Fire Rock Zone. Kawan J.
DJ One. The mixtape song. The mixtape song.
This ain't back in the day, but we gonna bring it to you straight that way. We know that it's a new day, but we gonna hit you with original sway. It's going down, your Mayday was at your peak in your heyday. I'm talking seriously, not play. Way back in the day, far rock away. The only way out or in was the A train, through fannies, through the double bills.
Absolutely. You know I gotta do my homework before I get on the air with you, man. I ain't gonna embarrass myself like that.
Exactly.
How you
So
been?
do you know anybody out of the video?
No, I don't know anybody out the video, y'all. I was like asking my aunt because you know they older generation Rockaway, so I was asking them and they haven't gotten back to me yet, so I'm waiting to hear back from them because I sent them a link to the video and I was like, do you know any of these people? So well, hopefully they'll know. You know, Rockaway's not that big, right? Especially in that area.
Edgemere.
Yeah.
Once you know Edgemere, once you're around there, you know somebody.
Yeah, my grandmother on my dad's side, my dad's mom still lives there, and my aunt Shirley still live there currently. So you know, the Washington, they're the Washington Jenkins side, and then and the 40 Project side, all the way from the 40s to Redfern is my mom's side.
Oh, 40 projects.
Yeah, so
okay.
so yeah, I'm 40 Projects Redfern, and that's the Dixon's side in the Summers. So I grew up in the 40s, and then like I said, my dad's
Okay,
mom and them
all right.
and my cousins grew up in Edgemere. So we was close. We was in close proximity of each
Okay,
other.
all right. Now I know. Okay, so you know people from the 40s.
Yeah, mostly the 40s, and I think my border stopped at I don't know if you remember years ago, it was a barbershop, Ernest Burke Barbershop. Years ago, it was a guy named Ernest. That was my uncle's father who had the barbershop out there in Edgemere. Was where he was at.
It was just in the crib, right?
I think he had a brick and mortar.
We used to go down to somebody in the 40s and get our hair cut.
It could have been. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we run into we probably run into circles, or families run into the same circles. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, you know Eddie OJ. Are you familiar with that name?
Mm-mm.
Eddie OJ. I think he's Rockaway, but I think he's more closer to what old Playland used to be. That's where he stays at. So currently,
We knew some not so good guys. So, I can name all of those guys.
you know all the peanuts and those type of guys, right?
Yeah, Scientific and Oopsie and all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Dope, man. Dope, bro. Well, let's chop it up, man. Let's talk about this album. Let me give you a proper introduction. And let's talk about your joint, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the Mixtape Show. We are live for this week's Artist of the Week, man. And this guy is what we call Boom Bap alumni. One of the original Boom Bap alumni on the show, man. He's one of my first guests that we welcomed to the show years ago, and we've been building ever since, man. And it's always a pleasure to have him back on air. We're going to talk about his new project that he's released. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to gaslight y'all on this one. He goes by the name of G Supreme, man. And how you doing, brother? How's everything on your neck of woods?
Peace. K1, what's the size, brother?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, man. First and foremost, congratulations on the project, man. It's really dope. You know what I'm saying? You're keeping those elements in there. You keeping that traditional hip hop thing going with the message and the science and all that kind of stuff, man. So congratulations on that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
That's the only way I know how to do it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You got some joints on there that I really like. The visuals are really dope. And let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about this project, man. Let's give the people the name of it and just kind of your thought process behind it when you was putting this whole thing together.
All right, it's my seventh solo actual released album, because I got albums that I just never released. Beware the Gaslight. And, you know, basically, you know what gaslighting is.
Yeah.
When somebody doing something wicked and they trying to make you think you crazy.
Yeah.
You crazy.
Yeah.
So that's gaslighting. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of that going on in this country, but that's a different subject.
Absolutely. We'll get into that too.
It's different.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And like you said, man, it's kind of one of those joints for the times, right? Like a true MC does. They come out with material when we need it. and educating people on it too, man, because a lot of people may not know what that term is, and you know, we experience it, but we may not be able to put a name to it. And when you dropped it with that, man, I was like, okay, you're gonna teach people on what that term is, man.
Exactly.
When did you start putting this together, man? How long ago did you start working on this?
I think during the pandemic, I had the gaslighting idea
Mm-hmm.
because I had watched an old movie. Like I keep hearing that word popping up, and I was like, I heard this word before.
Mm-hmm.
This is not new.
Yeah.
So I searched it in this old movie from the 40s
Mm-hmm.
called Gaslight. And it was showing you how this guy was trying to make this woman think she was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really him. He was really the criminal. And when you turn, when somebody's hiding upstairs and they turn the light on, your light gets dimmer too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how you could tell somebody was in the house.
Yeah.
So, and the whole gaslight thing, I think I liked the way he was trying to make her think she was crazy and she wasn't. That's what they're doing now. They're gaslighting. So that word just came back. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna build an album around that.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic kind of hit and things kind of changed, and I released the other one instead,
Mm-hmm.
the actual hip hop album.
Yeah.
So I just got stuff. So I just released that one, and I was like, okay, now it's time for the Gaslight album now because almost the same shit happened. Like in 2016, something else happened again.
Yeah.
So I said, I gotta release this goddamn album right now, man. I gotta let it go. And I changed a few things, you know what I'm saying? Updated some stuff and changed like all the beats, I think, because that's how I do.
Yeah. So, but pretty much the lyrics were already written. You just had to marry them to
Basically,
okay.
About maybe 4 or 5 songs, I didn't change, but the rest of it was like it's new material.
Yeah. Dope, man. Yeah, no, I like it, man. Like, you know me, I'm always a fan of the message, and like you said, in today's times, man, it's like they said, the gaslighting is at an all-time high right now, right? People making you think that you're crazy for feeling a certain way you feel. You seeing these things happen on TV and they're telling you, nah, that's not what that is. And you're like, no, that's exactly what that is. You know what I'm saying? Or things are going on politically where you're just like, you know, am I tripping? Am I the one bugging? Or is this really, you know what I'm saying? That's that feeling that you have, and you kind of got to take a step back sometime and pull away from that so you don't get brought into it. So when you was committed to this project and the things that are kind of going on now, man, how vindicated are you feeling now? Like, man, I'm glad I kind of held off on this project a couple of years ago now to bring it out, because I feel like it's got a bigger impact now than it would have maybe a few years ago.
Yeah, because I wanted it to sink in. I usually do this thing where I'm kind of ahead of my time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'll do something and everybody's like, they don't understand it. And then 5 or 10 years later, it's like, oh, that's the big thing now.
Yeah.
That happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, you know what? Let me stop trying to be so ahead of time. Let me just go with what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And I still was like 3 or 4 years ahead of time with this album, but I seem to work like that. As soon as I have a spark of something, I'm like, this is what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And I can kind of tell it's about to happen. Everybody's like, oh, you crazy. And then 3 years later, like, oh, you were right.
Yeah. That's your intuition, right? That's your gut. That's you know, the universe or whatever people want to call it, right? It's inside of you, so you know, you can just feel it, right? So it's kind of like people like you. We need people like you to kind of help us, because some of us may not pick up on that. Some of us are distracted by things. With you being in your position as an MC, as a writer, as a teacher with the music, do you feel like that? How does that responsibility feel for you when you write these records, man? Do you always feel like I got to get a jewel in every one of these joints just because I know it's something inside of me that's saying I got to get this out? How does that make you feel carrying that kind of, I won't say weight, but just how do you feel and how do you deal with that, knowing that I got to give knowledge?
It doesn't feel like weight at all. It's like that's actually me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like I didn't like, okay, I'm gonna choose a genre of, you know, how I'm spit when I'm rhyming.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is me when you hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not making believe none of the stuff you hear. The stuff that I'm saying, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
What I have to actually do is bring myself to put like a party like song on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because all my stuff comes out like you hear it on the albums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why sometimes I'll get somebody to do a beat or another person to rap with me, and then I get somebody like Lakim Shabazz, and he's like me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even MC Shan, like you, people could say what they want about MC Shan, but MC Shan don't make negative records.
Yeah.
Think about that.
True that. Yeah. No, true.
Everybody be talking mess, but Shan don't make his songs is positive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's always been like that. You know, even a song he had called Project Ho, he's trying to tell Jane, stop that crazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's positive. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't understand. Like I seem to be drawn to people that's like-minded, and they try to tell you, oh, you better be around your opposite. Like, who made that up? Like, who came up with that? Who wants to do that?
Yeah.
You want to help an old lady across the street. He wants to beat her up.
Yeah.
I'm not hanging around that guy.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the total opposite of me. Like, I'm not hanging around no opposites. We got to be like mine, and I'm not gonna make nobody be like that. You got to already be kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so you don't have to conform to nothing I'm doing if we get on the song together.
Absolutely.
So me and Lakim Shabazz, basically, we just the guards. We was just like, you know, we was like, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? He said, what's the name of the song? I was like, Fight to the Death.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, that's peace, God, let's do it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like a difficult thing. You know?
Yeah, like you said, I get that, man. It's like, yeah, I get that too. How you say, people say, oh, work with the people so you can learn from them. Like, no, I can still learn with people that think like me. They may think a little bit different. We both get there we both got the same destination. They may get there a little bit different, just like I may get there a little bit different. That's how we share the knowledge to get there kind of together. But yeah, man, I don't want to hang with nobody that's opposite of me. I'm you know, for me, I'm you know, 40 plus, 45 and kids and wife and all that other stuff. I don't want to deal with these young cats on a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just, you know, I let them do their thing. If they come to me for some knowledge, I give it to them and we move on. I don't have to sit around and hang with them to feel like that. We ain't got to do all that.
That's yeah. We grown. My father used to say we good and grown.
Exactly.
You know, we've been grown a long time ago.
Exactly. People know me. They like, yo, Kwan ain't the one for pleasantries. Just get to the point so he can move on, because he's not gonna sit here forever and want to talk to you about that.
Yeah, because you know, just they tell you that in relationships too. Like, find somebody the opposite of you. It's like, why the hell would you do that? I'm not doing that.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Well, what'd you do with this project that's a little bit different, man? I know each rollout's always different. You always want to explore some new avenues as an artist, man. What did you do different on this one than your last one that you're seeing some kind of instant success in your mind with this project?
What I know I did is I made my brothers get on it. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm making a song. Y'all getting on the song.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't ask them. I told them they was getting on the song.
Yeah.
You're getting on the song, write your rhyme. All right, you write your rhyme. And my other brother, Prince, okay, I'm just going to come down to the studio. He came all the way from Tennessee, came all the way down to the studio.
Yeah.
And did it. My other brother, Born, you know, he got his own studio. I was like, you got your own studio, write your rhyme to this beat and just send it.
Yeah.
With your brothers and stuff, you can't ask them. You just got to tell them to do it.
Absolutely.
You ask them, then they start feeling all like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Let me think about it. No, I think about it. Get on the song, man.
Or they're gonna take forever to get it to you, right? When it's like, okay, man, I'll work on it whenever I can. You're like, no, exactly. I need this. That's what
I did different. Yeah, that's what I did different. I like basically made them get on the album, a song. You know, we ain't getting no younger. Come on, man, let's do it, because we've been doing music together for the longest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But not on these platforms and stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, we need to put some out. And I'm trying to get my brother to do his album. So I'm trying to get him in it now, get him back to it.
Yeah.
So, all right, I get it. Now you on something.
Yeah.
Stop being shy. Let's go.
Yeah.
So that's what I did different.
Let him get his reps in, right? Start letting him get his reps in so he can do his joint. That's
exactly.
Dope. That's dope. I like that about you, man. That's always been one of my favorite things about you as an artist is you always reach out and you always connect with whoever. And it seems like you bring the best out of them. Who does that for you, man? Who's the one who brings the best out of you when it comes to, and it may not be particularly rhyming with you, but who's that person in your life that you can turn to that kind of brings the best out of you as a person?
Yeah, it got to be my wife, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how she put up with me. I mean, I'm not a horrible person.
Yeah.
But I have just these standards and all that stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And that can get tiring on people, you know, like all these standards I have, but it don't bother her.
Yeah.
So I definitely got to give it to her.
Yeah.
She don't give up. She tell me you perfect. You do whatever you doing. I don't care what you're doing. You don't do nothing wrong. So
yeah. Yeah.
You know, everybody has these little stories. How about their wife nags them and all this stuff like that. I would have got that.
Yeah.
I don't got
Yeah.
that. Listen, and I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I don't get nagged. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get disrespected. We don't fight or argue. We've never called each other out of our
Mm-hmm.
names.
Mm-hmm.
We never even called each other stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's just one of them things that me and her. I think we two Pisces.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we kind of the same, and
Yeah. It
we
works.
don't have. I don't have no problem. So that's my go-to person is my wife.
Absolutely.
She gonna stick with me through thick or thin.
Same here, man. I'm my wife. She's a Virgo. I'm a Cancer, and
Woo!
she
You got to
she
be perfect. You perfect, right? You got to
hopefully
operate perfectly, man.
hopefully
Virgos
we
want perfect.
we just celebrated 12 years in it, man, and
All right.
marriage, and I think a little bit over 15 years together with 2 kids, and like you said,
Yeah.
she's kind of my backbone, man. She knows when I'm back here doing my music stuff. That's daddy's time. Leave him alone. Let the kids know daddy's back there doing this thing, because that's how he gets his creative energy out and all that stuff. And
Yep.
and
that's a freedom.
that's a freedom. That's
man.
a freedom.
That
It's
somebody
crazy.
ain't knocking on the door. What are you doing in there?
It's a beautiful thing when you got somebody in your life that, cause she's a creative too. She's photography, visual stuff. So she does photography, video, and all that. So I give her space. She gives me my space, and it's like you said, it's a perfect marriage, because I have some friends and partners who they want to do stuff like this, and they always tell me, man, I can never get a song in, or I can never do this because people bother me here.
My wife ain't gonna let me.
Yeah, exactly. Or she's saying I'm spending too much time in the stew and all this other kind of stuff. And
Get your studio at home.
Mm-hmm.
Then your wife would be like, okay, you just gonna be downstairs? That's great.
Absolutely.
All this disappearing for hours and hours at a time, a wife ain't gonna like that.
Absolutely.
That's okay when you got a girlfriend, but when you got a wife,
Yeah,
you can't be doing that.
you
studio in your house.
You got to make it work at the house. And it's
Make
been
it work.
it's been great for me, because ever since COVID hit, I used to be out DJing a lot, and then COVID kind of shut down a lot of stuff, and then I never just came back to the DJing parties and all that, just because it wasn't fun for me anymore. And it's like, ever since I've been home, man, I've been more creative. I've been more locked in on a lot of things, more focused. I love being around my family, and the people that used to rock with me kind of shed away, right? Then you kind of have that group core of people who understand what you are and who you are, and they help you get through the process. And that's what I kind of love, like you said, about just kind of growing up and being a grown man. You ain't gotta impress anybody, man. You just kind of rock with your people, and if it's the same 4 people for the rest of your life, then let's do it.
I was telling somebody else on the interview I was doing the other day that the kids ain't really feeling what we doing, and we ain't feeling what they doing. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to please the children when it comes to music.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't trying to please us. They doing them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we need to do the same thing and be able to just coexist. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop trying to be kids. We too grown for that.
It's different in games too, right? They want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to quote unquote try to get a deal. Whereas I think our generation, we just want to make good music. You know what I'm saying? We want
to be left alone.
Be left alone and leave a legacy. That's all we care about. Be left alone.
And let hip hop be hip hop. Stop trying to change it. It's hip hop. Let everything else be what it is. This is hip hop. What we doing?
Yeah. When you was coming up, that's a good question too, because I know I always say my music maturity was late 80s, early 90s, right? So I remember my elders and my uncles and stuff used to tell me they didn't like our rap at the time because they cursed too much, this, that, and other. But even though our music was still message driven, it was the cursing part, right? That's all. They couldn't get over that hump. So when you were coming up and you were before me in that generation, you was probably, obviously hip hop was doing this thing, but you was into like the funk and all that. What were you hearing as a kid when it came to the music? Was it like they don't know what they doing, or they not playing the music the way they should? Or do you remember those conversations?
I was just hearing that damn hippity hop music. Like, my mom used to bang in the door, be like, "If you hippity hop one more time, a hip in there and whoop your." I was like, "Mom, just leave me alone."
Yeah.
They didn't really understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's before we really got into making our own beats that much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You would get some people that, like, I had my man next door had a beat machine, but it was rare. But some people, get to do that.
Yeah.
So that's what I heard. and stop messing up the records with the scratch. Stop messing up with that scratching, messing up my records, and that's what I heard. A lot of that stuff, like tearing my records up. We should be tearing them records up.
Yeah. I remember we used to listen to my dad's 8 tracks and his records, and we would put it on the instrumental side, and we would try to rhyme. I sucked at it. Obviously, I was out the game early. You know what I'm saying? But it used to be kind of cool to like rap over those instrumentals and stuff like that, and try to record yourself and dub yourself and all that. So this,
I used to make pause button tapes.
Yeah.
Like I'd go to the store because when we lived in Jamaica, when you go on something Boulevard, there was a record store at the corner before you get to Jamaica Avenue. And you go there, you hear a record that come out, and you save your money, you get that record, it got a break, but you got one, because you only got one record player. You didn't even got a turntable, you got a record player. And so the pause buttons, now, when you use a pause button, it's kind of a delay.
Yeah.
Back then, if it would catch, bam, right on the
dot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you mix it in and let it go, and I would even get fancy. I would hold it and let it go. Zicka.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's you know what I'm saying? So I used to do stuff like that. And put my records back.
Yeah.
What? Tear the roof off the sucker. My mother got that record. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of records cats was using in the parks. My mama had them records.
Yeah, absolutely. I
was like, my mother got that record right there. My mother got doom, tear the roof off. We're going to tear the roof off. You know that song, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so you see him in the park, and I go, well, my mom's got that. Then my brother used to have everything. He used to hang in the Bronx.
Yeah.
So we was living in Queens, but he used to hang in the Bronx. The Bronx used to get everything before the rest of the boroughs. Clothes, everything. If you want to get ahead of people, you need to go to the Bronx. And you come back, go to Dapper Dan's or Delancey Street or whatever, and you come back and you have stuff that they don't got when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Because the grown-ups could get it, but the kids, we can't get the British Walkers.
Yeah.
We was like, I was the first cat on the block with British Walkers. Like I was that type of.
Yeah, people don't understand, man. New York is literally like the boroughs are like different congregations. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like what goes on in Queens don't particularly, don't go on in Brooklyn, and whatever goes on in Brooklyn don't go on in the Bronx. So it's always like a weird dichotomy of the different boroughs. And this people who haven't even left their borough. They're grown adults and still never left the borough. You know what I'm saying? I got an aunt who she lives out in Queensbridge, and she's like, "Yo, I don't leave. I don't leave this little area unless I go to the doctor, and I'm coming back to the crib." You know what I'm saying?
I had to leave. I left a few times. I went to Job Corps, then I came back. Then a year later, I went to the military. Then I came back. Like I was leaving because I couldn't stay still. I've been hyperactive since I can remember.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it. My mother called me lazy. She said, what I was doing was focusing. They said hyperactive people could focus on one thing. So I used to just draw, and I just draw and doing music, doing music. And so I didn't realize I was hyperactive. And I went to the military, they hyperactive.
Yeah.
That's why you focusing on a couple of things. Like now I'm trying to find something else to do. I'm used to on a computer. I'm doing something on my phone. I'm doing something over here. You know what I mean? Like, and I gotta calm myself down sometimes. So I'll be all over the place, man.
I'm the same way, man. I try to do a little bit of everything at once, and then my wife was like, "You're like a crazy person if I leave you to your devices." So I gotta, and then this is why I love the creation of all of this stuff too, because this helps, like you said, it helps me focus on certain things, and then I can lock in on it, and not. Now sometimes I do go a little off the rails, and I'm just like trying to do this, and somebody will text me something, and then I go jump and do that, and then I forget what I was doing. So you gotta. I guess that's just the creativity trying to come up out of you so much, man.
Yes.
You just want to do something. Like you said, I feel like I need to do something. So it's kind of tough for me to have downtime.
Either you need to do a lot of stuff, or you need to let yourself focus on one thing, and it wind up being for hours. And you'd be like, 3 hours went by. You don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Because that's that hyper focus.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing to do when you're hyperactive, because you'll be all over the place. Like I could be doing something here, next thing you know, I'm outside mowing the lawn. My wife's like, "What you doing?"
You're like, "How did I get here?"
It's like I looked out there and I seen it, and I was like, I can do it now. I'm trying to do dishes. She's like, "Chill out." She's like, "Chill. You don't got to do everything." But that's the way I am.
It is. It is. I say to my kids too. My son, when he gets on the Legos, he's locked in, and he'll literally for 4 hours sit there and put together a Lego set, and he won't move until it's done. Then he's like, okay, let me go do something else now.
That's good when you learn how to focus. That's when you have a task later on in life, you'll know how to focus and do it. Because now some of these young kids 4 seconds. They changed the algorithm of TikTok
Mm-hmm.
because they said their attention span is not more than 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
8 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You're gonna have to concentrate for longer than that when you grow up, buddy.
yeah. But and then this is what I love about how we're in our space with the music thing is we're used to we make music for the people like us, so we know people who like us can listen to a full length project. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to put out 2 and 3 song EPs because that's the attention span. We know I'm gonna get this music out to the people who support me, and I know they're gonna listen to it from track 1 all the way to track 10 or whatever it is, and they're gonna really take it in and absorb it, man. So, what's been your reaction that you've been hearing about the project so far?
Well, I always hear good things, and I'm not just trying to say that, but I've never really have somebody say to me, "Oh, I hate your music."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've had some racial comments.
Mm-hmm. That'll happen. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
get your N-word stuff off of my page.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that don't got nothing to do with my music sounding like that's some old different other stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, to be honest, I don't really get that. So I'm doing something right,
Absolutely.
or I guess who don't like it just don't say anything.
Just don't say anything. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the way I am. If I don't like somebody's album, I don't care if they famous or whatever. You don't hear me around dogging people's music. If I don't like it, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's okay not to like something.
Yeah.
That thing that what you call them created, that hater thing, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
It's okay to not like somebody's stuff. That don't mean you a hater.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sabotage has to do with hating. If you hate, you sabotage, you're going to badmouth somebody all the time. That's hating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's hating. But if you don't, you can not like somebody's whole catalog. That's not hating. You're just not into it.
You're just not into it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no,
That's not hate.
It's people out there that I'm like, I know who they are. I just don't listen to their music. It didn't hit me it doesn't hit me like that. So it is what it is.
I'll be like, they're good artists because everybody seems to like them. So, but it's just not, just not my thing. You know what I mean?
That's me, man. I get that for every time I tell people. I'm like, Jay-Z's cool, but I'm not really a fan of his records. Like, he got a couple joints here and there that I'm like, okay, that's dope, but
I like the New York one. That's the one I like.
Yeah. I like he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan either.
I'm not a fan of him, and I think it's just more of the energy that he came in the game with, that kind of like I'm better than you kind of energy thing. Which
everybody got to do that.
Everybody got
rapper,
that.
You got to do
that.
Yeah,
everybody got that. But it just didn't hit.
You didn't believe it.
Exactly. That's what I think. What it more is, I didn't really believe. I felt like it was a front to live up to the Rockefeller thing, and where I was leaning more towards the Nas side of the knowledge.
And to me, it sounded more like Biggie's stuff revived. It sounded like somebody listened to Biggie's catalog and turned it around, just changed it a little bit.
Yeah.
It sounds too much like Biggie to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I was leaning more on the Nas side when he came up, because it could have been Queen's thing too. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man. So let's speaking of, man, let's talk about this one joint real quick. We'll go through these joints that you sent me. I'll whenever we re-air this, I'll play these during the interview. But this ain't Back in the Day, man. Featuring your peoples, man. Born G and Prince. Talk about that. I like the video. You know what I'm saying? It reminded me of back home. It made me want to go ride the new A train, because I haven't had a chance to ride on the new joint yet.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, let's talk about that, man. What's that record about, and let the people know.
Yeah, man. That's because years ago, when I came from Job Corps, that's where I went. My mother had moved while I was in Job Corps. So, and when I got there, that's where they was at. And Far Rock and Edgemere, big up.
Yeah.
Stand up, Edgemere. And my man Shamel, Universal Grand Shah with the Vamp Masters. You know what I'm saying? So that's who they was. And as soon as I got there, my brother Born was like, yo, I met this dude named Shah. That's your homeboy right there. I'm telling you, y'all going to click. I was like, what? Set me up with a homeboy. You know what I'm saying? What you talking about? And the second we met, he was like, yo, what's up? He was like my brother. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? He got shot in 2007. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, did something. But that was my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got along, and we always mention him and stuff. And his mother was like Miss Ann, was like my second mother. Like the stuff I couldn't go and play video games until 2 o'clock in the morning in my house.
Yeah.
But Miss Ann would let us do that
Absolutely.
because Shaw, we was with Shaw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she was like my second mother. So that's why in the video you see I said, "Rest in peace, Miss Ann. I love you to death," because she just passed away.
Okay. Okay.
And so she was like my favorite mother, my second mother.
Yeah.
And yeah, our family out there. So that's what we were talking about. And I did a little bit of Jamaica Queens out there too. If you've seen, I was in the park at one point, and I did this video to this song back and had all the kids dancing, and that was back in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, I've always been doing this everywhere I go. You know what I mean? So this is not something I just started doing all of a sudden.
Yeah,
since I was 12.
12. It's a shame
12.
What's going on with Jamaica Ave too, man. It's like a shell of itself now, man.
Yeah, it's different now.
Yeah, it's for those of y'all who don't know, Jamaica Queens is one of the was one of the central points in Queens, man. That's where you can get gear, you can get your earrings, your jewelry, your truck jewels, you can get
your records,
airbrush t-shirts, like you can get everything in Jamaica Ave. It was like this nice strip of businesses, a lot of mom and pop spots down there. The Coliseum was out there, man, and it's terrible now. You know what I'm saying? Obviously they're doing what they do everywhere else. They're gentrifying it.
Not far from the Audubon, like all kinds of stuff is out there.
They're bringing down the property value so they can come back in and swoop it up and switch things around.
Jamaica Avenue got nothing, but they got skyscrapers now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the same place, man.
When I went out there, I was like, "What? This don't even look like Jamaica Queens no more."
I used to get
I was right on Liverpool Street.
Yeah,
I was on Liverpool Street, up the block from 50, the school of PS 50. And so when you look at it now, it's all that's small and a bunch of skyscrapers around it now.
Yeah, wow. My sister went to Springfield out there, so I used to always love hanging out with her whenever on Fridays, because I went to 106 and then I went to Far Rock. So I used to 106, then I went to Brian Piccolo, and then I went to Far Rock.
106 in Jamaica?
Yeah.
You mean in that video? That's where we was at.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said.
You noticed that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's when we shot the video back in the 90s.
Yeah, man. Jamaica's a dear home, man. I used to get the bootlegger. Used to be my guys out there. I used to love the bootleggers to get those tapes. I know I shouldn't now as I'm older not to mess with the bootleggers, but I used to love to get those.
Listen, we ain't had no damn money. We wanted it. We had to get it. That's the way we was able to get it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the artists was selling their bootlegs because that's the way they could get their money. The record companies be jerking the hell out of them.
Yeah.
So that's the way they get their money. Yo, you give me 10 G's, and I give you permission to bootleg my joint.
I give you the album ahead of time. Yeah. That's how 50 got on. 50 got on like that. He used to use the bootleggers as his free marketing team. You know what I'm saying?
That's how you got to do it.
You got to do that.
They jerking us.
That's right.
I went to Shima. So I went to like one of the baddest schools in Jamaica. You know, I went to Shima. I was like, when I got there, they was like, they threw a teacher out the window while she was still sitting on the chair, man. I was like, what? What? I don't even know if that really happened, but that was the legend back then.
Don't give nobody no ideas, man. These kids don't care. They're trying to go viral for everything, man.
Yeah, but that was real. They wasn't trying to be no viral. That's how people was back then.
That's just how they got down. That's how they got down.
We used to grown men. We was kids. You get in a fight with grown men, and we would just do it.
Word up. I remember one time I was coming from school. I used to ride the public bus home. Well, the public buses were parked in the back of the school, so all the kids would get on there to get to the house. And these kids kicked the back window out of the bus. And no, the side windows. It was the side windows. They just kick out the side windows.
The Q60 or the Q40 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, one of those Q joints, and they just kicked the bus out, the windows out, and the bus driver was just pulled over and put everybody out. You know what I'm saying? It was like never again.
That used to happen a lot. That used to happen a lot.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, brother. Well, man, tell the people, man, where can they get the project? You got it on the website? Is it just streaming? Is it on Bandcamp? How can people take a listen to the project?
Yeah, it's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, all that stuff. G Supreme. I got all 7 of my albums up there. Even got an album up there I did with my man Pessimist back in the days. So, but it's up there. Just look me up, check me out. Go to Facebook or look me up under Dre Parker. I'm out there. G Supreme in the building.
There you go. You still doing voiceover work too?
Yeah, once in a while I still do voiceover work. Yeah. It's just after that actor strike, they started paying people less. So it's a lot of I'm not doing that. It's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
Like, nope. You You come out with some better money, or I ain't doing it.
I wonder if that's because now they getting the AI involved a little bit more now, huh? Yeah.
And they want you to come in and, okay, we want you to do this for this AI. Okay, but then you put in a disclosure, okay, as long as you don't use it for nothing else besides this, then they don't want to do it. They're going to just take your voice and use it like we do these programs now. You could just drag and drop a voice into some, hey, this is more, drop your vocal into Morgan Freeman. And then I put it in there and it goes, I'm Morgan Freeman. And it sounds like Morgan Freeman. And so it's like, wow.
That's what I've been telling my peoples. I'm like, when everybody gets on these apps and they do these face filters, and all they doing is just pulling that information from you so they can use that information somewhere down the road, right? So that's why things are for free, and that's why Chat GPT is a free thing, because they're trying to gather as much information from you as they can. So they want to know what you want to know, you know what I'm saying? So they can gather that information, store it, and they can have that for later on, you know what I mean? So you kind of got to be careful what you put out there and what you take on.
And one day you're going to be in your house for 10 years and realize that everything on the internet and on TV was fake.
Absolutely. It's coming.
You'll be like, what?
It's coming, yeah. Because they test.
Come outside, it's going to be like the Matrix. The sky going to be scorched.
Yeah, because they testing it now, right? They testing it with certain things here and there. They'll leak some weird little footage, and, I'm thinking they're testing to see if people believe if it's fake or not, you know what I'm saying? So
that's what they do.
You gotta be
people fighting each other, and they don't know that's not real, but I can see it.
Yeah.
So far I can see it.
Yeah, you got to be.
Because when you play video games, we've already seen that close to that AI like that before. If you play video games, the advanced ones, and you be like, that looked like so-and-so game that I played. That's not real.
Absolutely.
It's AI right there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the moral of the story is go outside some more, get some fresh air, stay away from the computers all the time, and then get to talk to people, man. Network with the real people, man. This internet stuff is fake.
And look at the sun for 3 seconds. Now, you think that's something weird? Trust me, it is not going to blind you. Don't listen to that.
Yeah.
Go outside when the sun is out. Close your eyes, look toward the sun, and open your eyes for 3 seconds. Just look at the sun. Close your eyes back, and when you open your eyes, it's going to look like you can see more than you should see. Everything seems clearer for a good 10 minutes after that.
Yeah.
We're supposed to look at the sun. Don't let them fool you. You're not supposed to stare at it for like 10 minutes. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to look at it for at least like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Everything clear up.
Knowledge dart right there. Knowledge dart.
Try it.
We always take my wife's family has down here in Texas. She has family out in East Texas, which is like the country, and they have land, clay dirt land, and all that. We like to take the kids out there once or twice, maybe a month, and we go out there and just let them take their shoes off and just roam free, so they can ground themselves and just be around natural.
That's another thing too.
Because it's a lot of untouched stuff. It's just regular earth. There's no concrete out there. We just let them take their shoes off, run around, play, and just ground themselves with the earth and connect with the planet. You know what I'm saying? So they can get those nutrients and all that, man. So it's okay to let the kiddies take their shoes off and just let them play, man. It's okay.
Exactly. If he's gonna get dirty anyway, and his feet look like leather running around the house, so it's okay. Just get something to scrape that leather off, because a kid's feet could get dirty. You be like, what is that?
Yeah.
What's that? Pleather on your foot, bro?
Pat leather feet,
Yeah, that used to happen to us. We walked out no shoes on and we was little.
It's okay,
you can
man.
scrape it off with your fingernails.
That's right.
Like,
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with natural nutrients in the body, man. G Supreme, man. We got the homie G Supreme checking in here, the Mixtape Show Artist of the Week. Go peep that project. It's dope. You know what I'm saying? If you love hip hop, if you just love that unadulterated hip hop, you know what I'm saying? If you love that sound, go holler at my man. Go check the project out. Go purchase the project. We always want you to support it financially. So go anywhere you can go purchase that. Go purchase it. Go let them know you appreciate it, man. And as always, brother, welcome back to the Mixtape Show. You know this is always home for you. And when the next one come around, let's do this again. All right?
No problem. K1 in the building. Beware the gaslight. Go check it out. Give some support. You can listen to the music. You can listen to it and not feel like after you listen to my album, you're not going to feel like, damn, I ain't shit. It don't make you feel depressed. And I'm not calling you a bunch of idiots and morons. Beware the gaslight. Peace.
That's right. Listen with your ears open. Listen to the knowledge there, right? We'll be right back.